Hey YouTube, welcome to another Bible study video from Colorado Proper. This Bible study concerns how to see to it that the sins of others shall be forgiven. You have the power to see to it that certain sins of others shall be forgiven. There's just one Bible verse for this study. It is Matthew chapter 5, verse 23. So when you're offering your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him, or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Truly I tell you, you will never get out until you've paid the last penny. So prison is a metaphor for hell in this parable. If I've sinned against a brother, he has the power to see to it that my sin is forgiven. If the sin is against him, he can forgive it, and I will not be subject to that sin at the judgment. On the other hand, if he retains the sin, sees to it that the sin remains on me, I will be subject to the judgment concerning that sin. Likewise, if my brother sins against me, I have the power to see to it that the sin shall not be counted against him at the judgment. I have the power to see to it that sin will be forgiven him. If the sin is against me, I have the power to see to it that the sin is forgiven him, and he shall not be subject to the judgment or hell concerning that sin. Now, I first died in 1997. I went to hell, where I saw combat in 2010 and 2011. I remained in hell until my combat was over in 2011. I got back out to the natural realm. My term for hell is the supernatural realm. There are vampires, werewolves, and witches in hell. Witchcraft is very real. I've been attacked by witchcraft innumerable times. Now there are many possible worlds, possible Earths. There are many alternate histories. There are many versions of our solar system. There are many worlds, many Earths, many Milky Way galaxies. So when I got back out of hell, I came into a world in which I had never died. That's why there's no record of my death in 1997. I died in a world that I left a long time ago and came back in a world in which I had never died. Like I said, there are many Earths, many solar systems, many planet Earths. So in 2014, I committed suicide and went back to hell. And I saw combat there again. These days, I sort of switch back and forth quite rapidly. So the reason I bring this up is to let you know about the tortures of hell. I was never tortured with the tortures of hell. I was never subject to the tortures of hell. Long story how I avoided it. And I won't say what the tortures of hell are precisely, but you should know that if you're wishing the tortures of hell on someone, you're wishing something so bad as to make waterboarding out to be a paper cut. They are incredibly worse than any torture that can happen in the natural realm. Like I said, waterboarding compared to the tortures of hell is simply a paper cut. It's nothing compared to the tortures of hell. This is the type of thing you're wishing on someone if you decide you do not want their sins forgiven. You're wishing tortures incredibly bad, worse than you can possibly imagine. You're wishing on them tortures worse than you can possibly imagine. I was never tortured in hell, like I said. Long story how I avoided it. Just letting you know what you're wishing on someone if you decide you want their sins to remain upon them. Like I said, you have the power to see to it that the sins are forgiven if the sin is against you. If you have sinned against him, he has the power to see to it that your sin is forgiven. The only ones whom I would not forgive are Satan's and fallen angels. The weird thing about fallen angels is that they desire the tortures of hell. I don't understand it. I don't see how it's possible. But fallen angels will tell you, yeah, I want to go to hell. I want to go to hell when I die. Fallen angels will say that, which is very strange to me. But the Satans do not want to suffer the tortures of hell. They live in hell. Hell is the realm of the Satans. There are many, many Satans. But they do not wish to be tortured in hell. They use their funds to buy their way into immunity from the tortures of hell. Satans are immune to the tortures of hell until they are rendered into poverty, and then they are subject to the tortures of hell. Now, the tortures of hell serve as a defense of the Satans. They, anyone who comes to battle against them, they utilize the tortures of hell to fight against them. They utilize the tortures of hell to destroy any fighters who shall come and contend against the Satans. The Satans utilize the tortures of hell to see to it that they are safe and secure against any attack. Then when they're reduced to poverty, the tortures of hell come around to bite them in the ass, really. They come around to get them tortured. Now, Satans do not wish to be tortured in the tortures of hell like fallen angels do. The Satans are another species of thing, but they do not wish to be tortured. They are, if they are rendered paupers, if they are reduced to poverty, then they're subject to the tortures of hell. Anyway, so to wrap up, if you wish for your brother to be forgiven against the sin he has done against you, you have the power to see to it he will be forgiven. That sin, you have the power to see to it he shall be subject to hell for that sin. Whatever you decide, that's going to be, your word will be law. You can see to it that the sin remains on him or that the sin is forgiven him. Like I said, understand, if you are wishing him to retain the sin and have the sin remain upon him, you're wishing on him torture so bad as to make out waterboarding into a paper cut. Just to let you know the type of thing you are wishing on somebody if you elect not to forgive that person. Anyway, this about wraps up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.